Said victory divinely sent to be.
Yes, brother. I'm doing the introduction. I'll be with you. أعزائي المشاهدين، هذا تذكير ببيان قديم من محكم القرآن العظيم، وتحذير ونذير من المهدي المنتظر ناصر محمد إلى دونالد ترامب وإلى كافة البشر في الشرق والغرب. This is a reminder of a prior statement from the clear verses of the Great Qur'an, a final warning from the Awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed اليماني to Donald Trump and all mankind across the four corners of the earth. بتاريخ 20/9/1437 dated June 25, 2016. بيان ما أمر الله به النذير المهدي المنتظر ناصر محمد اليماني أن ينذر المعرضين بصاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود من قبل مرور كوكب العذاب الأكبر. This is an explanation what awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani was ordered by Supreme Allah to warn those who refuse to accept Allah's orders, to be ready for a thunderbolt like the thunderbolt of Aad and Thamud before the crossing of the star of the great torment.
فإن أعرضوا فقل أنذرتكم صاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود.
But if they turn away, then say, I have warned you of a thunderbolt, like the thunderbolt that struck Aad and Thamud.
فذلك ما أخشاه عليكم من قبل مرور كوكب العذاب الأكبر، ولله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد، يقدم ويؤخر سبحانه، وما يفعل الله بعذابهم لولا دعاؤكم. I am afraid that's what you have called upon yourselves. You'll get it prior to the flyby star of wrath. Finally, it is Allah who decides. He speeds up and delays as He wishes بهم وأتباعهم. لن تعي قلوبهم الحق من ربهم إلا بلغة العذاب الأليم. تصديقا لقول الله تعالى:
أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم.
Please let me express my deepest sorrow over the state of hearts of a generation that won't allow their minds to be righteously guided by the logic and common sense of the obvious Holy Qur'an, revealed in Arabic language, revealed by the Supreme Allah as a mercy to mankind. He had already previous knowledge that the well-renowned of this generation, be it leaders or subordinates, have hearts incapable of grasping the truth of their Lord, except by means of severe punishment. This reality is confirmed by Allah's Most High saying,
I swear by the twilight glow, and by the night and what it envelops. When it becomes full, will surely embark upon state after state. So what is the matter with them that they do not believe? The Quran is recited to them, they do not prostrate to Allah. But those who have disbelieved deny. Allah is most knowing of what they keep within themselves. So give them tidings of a painful punishment.
ونحذر كافة الأنصار في مختلف الأقطار تحذيرا كبيرا أن لا يفتنوا أنفسهم وأمتهم بتحديد ميعاد ما وعد به الله المعرضين عن دعوة الاحتكام إلى كتابه بميعاد عذابه في محكم القرآن العظيم، وذلك التزاما بأمر الله في قوله تعالى:
يقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين.
Therefore, we warn all the followers and supporters in different parts of the world by strong warning, in order not to confuse themselves and those around them, by indicating the date Allah promised to those who turn away from referring to His book, the Holy Qur'an, or the timeline of His wrath mentioned in the clear verses of the magnificent Qur'an, that obeying Allah's order when He Most High said,
And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? Say, the knowledge is only with Allah, and I am only a clear warner.
صدق الله العظيم. وبالرغم أنه صار قريبا، ورغم ذلك فالإمام المهدي لا يزال ملتزما بالأمر بعدم تحديد مواعيد العذاب بتاريخ مرقوم بحسب أيامكم، برغم أني أخاف عليكم صاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود. فأنتم تعلمون ما هي صاعقة عاد وثمود، ذلكم عذاب الريح العقيم والرجفة. اللهم سلم سلم، وأنت الأعلم بما سوف يوعون به دعوة الحق من ربهم. اللهم قد بلغت الأنصار ليبلغوا، اللهم فاشهد كما جعلتهم معي شهداء على العالمين، وكفى بالله شهيدا. So, despite the fact it became close, I mean the wrath, nevertheless the awaited Mahdi is still keen on obeying the divine order, not to indicate a timeline or a calendar date on which the punishment should take place. Even though I am afraid you are going to face a thunderbolt like that of Aad and Thamud, I am sure you do know what the thunderbolt of Aad and Thamud is. It is the punishment caused by the barren wind, followed by an overpowering blast, kind of super powerful EMP, called in Arabic al-Rajfa. Lord, O Lord, have mercy on us. Only you knows the appropriate way in order for them to accept your call of truth. I notified all my supporters to notify others. Lord, be witness the way you made them witness with me on mankind, and Allah is the most sufficient witness. Your brother, أخوكم الإمام المهدي ناصر محمد اليماني. Your brother. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أخواني الكرام، مرحبا بكم من جديد. معذرة على الخلل الذي حصل، يعني أنا لم أكن أنتظر الاتصال من أحد بعد، لأن عندنا ضيف مبرمج، فالأولى والأحرى أن نستمع إلى الحوار مع الضيف وإلقاء الأسئلة، ثم في ختام الحوار يتم فتح الخطوط فيتصل الإخوان لإضافة تعليقاتهم أو أسئلة. يعني هذا الذي كنا يعني قد برمجناه. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry for what happened before, a little bit of misunderstanding. Anyway, tonight's program would be a bilinguistic program, so the intention is that we start our discussion in English language, And later on, once this discussion with our guest is finished, we're planning to open the lines, and we might receive another guest from our brothers and sisters who speaks Arabic. So anyway, I hope that our guest is still with me. Our guest tonight is our brother Idris from the United Kingdom. Hello, brother Idris, are you there?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good to have you with us again, brother.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's good to be here, man.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Well, how are things going on there at your end?
Everything is good, you know. We thank God, and you know, just interested in the Mahdi's news, breaking news that he brought to us. Have you spoken about the news yet?
Yeah, exactly. Because this is something most of us kind of it slipped out of our minds, but tonight, inshallah, with the help of Allah, we're going to shed some light on this additional information that deserves to be breaking news, you know. So anyway, have you been watching the news in general, or today or yesterday? It seems that things are speeding up.
Yeah, well, I watch the news pretty much every day. You know, I watch like US news, I watch Asian news, and I watch UK news. Okay. And you know, there's a lot of stuff going on that should be breaking news, but it seems like a lot of people are distracted right now. You know, I don't know if you know, there was an earthquake in Taiwan a week ago.
Right.
You know, I heard news of an earthquake in Alaska. I'm not quite sure what happened. You know, there's been earthquakes a lot over the last few years. You know, we used to get maybe 50 earthquakes in a year, and now we get over 100 in a week. You know, whether they're small or big. You know, and there's been snowstorms. You know, it's been very cold in France.
Right.
You know, in parts of the US over this winter, you know, it was, you know, minus, you know, 10, 20, 30 Fahrenheit, which is crazy, you know, if you pour water out, you know. I mean, I saw a video of a woman pouring boiled water out of her pan, and it was freezing in the air. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, it seems that's all over the place. I mean, even here where I am, you know, it's very cold. Yeah, compared to the average, let us say. I mean, I've made different winters before. I've lived through, but this year it seems the cold is very special. You know, it gets to the bone, so it's really freezing here.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, you know, I don't know about you, but I feel like the seasons have kind of changed. Like over the last few years, in the UK at least, it hasn't really been getting cold. Like we haven't had snow in like, I think it was like 4 years, and then this year it snowed. You know, in the UK.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, 2 weeks ago they had the problems in Switzerland with the lavina, with the snowballs, and people were quarantined somewhere. You know, they could not get out of a resort of ski. And yeah, it seems that everywhere you look around, you find something going on. And actually, this was predicted, you know, by the Awaited Mahdi back in 2005, 2006. He said, prepare yourself because you're going to witness a lot and experience a lot of changes concerning the weather patterns that we are seeing and solar activity, the moon cycles, you know, and he kept...
And I remember him saying the overflowing seas, you know, which is why when all this stuff happened in Texas, you know, the flooding, and even in the UK, and you know, the hurricanes that have caused flooding and etc. You know, this is exactly what he said, you know, in a statement, you know, before 2005, you know, the overflowing seas, which has been happening all over the world, right?
Right. Anyway,
the overflowing of the seas, you know, the flooding and the what are they called, hurricanes, you know, that cause you know, water levels to rise. you know, in Texas, you know, thousands of people had to leave their homes because of flooding. I believe there was also similar things happening, you know, in the eastern parts of the world, you know, just flooding and the overflowing of the seas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, you know, the thing is, what's more important, which I wanted to add, and our beloved Imam Mahdi has already warned of this aspect of the thing. He said, the more we advance in time, the more we're going to see an increase in frequency and intensity of events that are going to take place, to the point that the people are going to be overwhelmed. I mean, let's be honest, you know, you can watch the news, but you cannot keep watching the news 24 hours a day. I mean, you have to go do your daily things, and you come back and you find even more news, you know, things are happening and happening, to the point that we are going to be overwhelmed at the end of it, you know, and that we cannot keep up with what's taking place worldwide, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of people become desensitized to these things, you know. They think it's normal, or they don't even care anymore because they hear it so much, you know.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Anyway, the breaking news, the topic of tonight, I don't know, I mean, last show we had Lady Nadia, you know, she's from the followers and supporters of our beloved Imam, and she did us an honor by her presence, and we asked her a few questions, and she tried to answer them. She answered perfectly, you know, most of the answers. And among the question, there was a question, you know, which was like this. We said that, you know, it seems that the call of the awaited Mahdi, after all these years, 13 years plus of effort, himself and all his supporters, you know, sending letters and emails and opening, you know, the websites, and even his website were blocked in certain countries.
Yeah.
So we said, you know, about the Persian, we sent to the president of Persia already at the time of Ahmadinejad, you know, letters, and we said here, I mean, if you look by the people in Iran or in Iraq, that's all what they talk about. When is the awaited Mahdi going to come? But still, I mean, their reaction was very cold, and nobody seemed to care. So the question was, as it seems that the call of the awaited Mahdi is coming like to a dead end, you know, is there something that we are not aware of that the awaited Mahdi is waiting for, and his supporter, that will be a game changer, meaning that will allow him to reach the Holy Kaaba in Mecca, to get the alliance from the rest of the Muslim, you know. And anyway, a short answer why she said she did not get the point exactly, and I mentioned to her that there is a verse of the Holy Qur'an that the awaited Imam Mahdi keeps mentioning about the portents from heaven that shall be sent down, which will bow the necks of the disbelievers, so that they will have to accept the law of Allah, of God, by force. Okay, so this is going to be a divine sign, a portent that will be sent down to earth. Oh, then she understood that, you know, she said, could it be, yeah, you're talking about planet Nibiru, the coming of the dark star. I said, right, that's what I'm talking about. And so
Yeah.
at the end of the show, we thought that we have answered all the question as best as we could. But to my surprise, later on, it seems that our beloved Imam had made a reaction, and he added a very, very interesting point, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight, inshallah, brother.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So, what was the news? What did he say?
Okay, now, you see, for instance, in the minds of most people, we know that disasters are taking place all over the place. They're going to increase, but we think that we're going to keep up with what's taking place, and that the worst will happen on the crossing. So the breaking news is there is something even bigger than all of that, as worse as the crossing itself, you know, that shall happen prior to the crossing. So as we say, you know, we put in our mind that we are expecting the night of the crossing, whenever this dark star will come up from beneath the ecliptic plane, you know, to fly over in a higher position to that of the earth. But the awaited Imam Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him, he came to warn us that there's a lot more to it, and it seems there is a certain kind, I'm sorry to say it, some wrath which is going to be taking place prior even to the crossing. So this was not expected at all. But again, it is Allah's wish, and anyway.
Yeah. And so this was going to be thunder, like the same thunder and storm that happened with Aad and Thamud. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I streamed a few minutes ago this breaking news, you know, and that's what the awaited Mahdi is warning people of. That means if they are going to keep on rejecting to refer their matters to the divine revelation of Allah, which is the Holy Qur'an, so there is no other way that he sees but that the punishment and the wrath is going to come to them, you know.
Okay, so the Planet X, there's going to be basically a disaster before that is, I guess, will make certain people who know about the Mahdi realize that he was speaking the truth. But I have a question. Like, are you telling me that humans are causing and calling these disasters upon ourselves by our actions?
Well, it seems that it is the case, brother. It seems that you know, all depends on the human behavior on the surface of the earth, and to me personally that makes a sense, you know, because if you think about it, we are individuals, human beings living on the surface of the earth. We do have consciousness, and so the planet we are living on does also have a consciousness, which is actually the sum up of the consciousness of all the beings who are living on it. So it seems that depending on this consciousness of humanity, what we will get will be accordingly, you see. And that's exactly what the awaited Mahdi, Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani, has explained. He said the way that we are behaving today, our political leaders, and especially, like I said, the religious leaders, and please don't forget that the awaited Imam Mahdi has made a proclamation and declarations about extraordinary things like the Ark of the Covenant, the place where it is. He gave us the glad tidings of the holy physical body of the Messiah lying within the Ark of the Covenant. He explained that it is it is in the cave of the companions of the cave, and he invited all the people to be welcome, to be at the moment of extracting or getting those portents out of the cave, waking up the companions of the cave, that these are giants from ancient civilization. But despite that, nobody reacted to this, So it seems that the people, they'd rather continue live their own dream, even though that they are seeing all this civilization is built on fake principles, and today people are waking up to that fact. There's so many problems all around us, and all these problems, they need a solution. So yeah. So getting back to your question, brother, whether these disasters that are taking place today are the result of our behavior. Well, that's exactly what the Awaited Mahdi has explained, and he did not, it's not a personal opinion. I mean, he demonstrated this from the Holy Quran, from the last revelation, which was revealed on our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, who is the grandfather of our beloved Imam Mahdi. Okay? Yeah, okay, brother, go on. You want to ask me something else?
Yeah. So I remember the Imam making a statement one time, and I read it, and I remember thinking it stuck with me because it was very it seemed like a very important thing to say. And he said that a time will come. He said basically that we should do justice to others, because a time will come when the oppressed will be put in a position above the oppressors, and those who were doing the oppressing oppressors will be put over them, and it was almost as if he was speaking about like a karma or something. Allah was going to bring about a situation where justice would be brought to people, and people who have done justice in the past would be living with other people of justice and be living peacefully, but people who have been oppressing others would be put in a situation where they're now being oppressed. And I was just going to ask you, do you think this has anything to do with the Aad and Thamud, with the thunderous disaster that he is speaking about?
Well, could you please point to me what do you mean exactly? Where do you see connection there, brother?
Because it seems like if this was going to happen before the crossing, for example, and this thunderous disaster, imagine it was something that affected maybe the oppressors. Maybe Allah brings disaster upon one of the oppressing nations or the oppressing peoples, specifically, and it's very clear that an evil force, or maybe an unjust force has been affected by the thunderous disaster of Aad and Thamud. Because Aad and Thamud were an unjust people, so maybe if this came upon an unjust people, I'm just wondering whether that would open people's minds a little bit and cause them to think, or maybe that would
okay, thank you. I see what you mean, brother. You are asking me whether the people are at last going to wake up and learn a lesson from what happened in the past to a previous civilization like Aad and Thamud, and the people of Lot, and the people of the mountain, for instance, who all of them were very arrogant. They did not want to believe in the messenger of Allah, despite that these messengers, or even the people of Noah, peace and blessing be upon him and upon our prophet.
Yeah, so when it happens again in our time,
Yeah, but don't forget, I mean, in the breaking news, in the statements of Imam Mahdi Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani, he showed his sorrows, that his deepest sorrows, because of the way that the people of today are behaving. It seems that people are more interested in material gain, in wealth, enjoying themselves, so turning away from the path of truth and turning away, from the direction which the divine creator wants them to go into. So whether the people are gonna learn their lesson from the past or not, things are going into a different direction, I'm sorry to say, brother, the way I see it today. Because, I mean, if there was a slight signal showing that the people are starting to wake up, to the reality, then they won't be preparing now for the Middle East war among the Muslim people themselves, Saudi against the Iranian, Shia against the... so it seems that these people are keen on going further on their evil agenda and throwing all the principle of Islam, because let me remind you, for instance, in the farewell sermon of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, one of the things, he said, the fundaments which are considered to be basic fundament of human rights, because they are trying to tell us today that the first human rights chart was written, I don't know, in 1800 something, by... No. Actually, the human rights chart, the first one known to humanity, was written by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his farewell sermon. And among the things he said, إن المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وعرضه, meaning the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gathered the people on a holy day in Arafah, in a holy place, and he spoke to them. He said, the holiness of your brother Muslim is as holy as the holiness of this land, and is as holy as the holiness of the house of God, the Kaaba. And so you are not allowed to spill each other's blood, and even, nobody else's blood except those who are attacking you, So what I mean by this, my point being, despite that we have this human rights chart which was made by our beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, I mean it's a lot longer. It contains other principles which are really very important to know and to put in practice. But despite that, we are seeing that these people are going the other opposite direction, fighting each other, killing each other, whether it be it in Syria or in Yemen, or as I said, what they are planning now between Saudi Arabia, plotting against each other, destroying each other as much as they could. So where is the Islam you are talking about? Are the Muslim people supposed to behave this way? Despite the fact that they have a single holy book, which is the Holy Qur'an, a single prophet, which is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and add to that, today we are having among us the grandson of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the son of his daughter Fatima, peace and blessing be upon her and all the descendancy, and they are rejecting him, closing the door in front of him. So what is the Islam that they are talking about? So getting back to your question, brother, whether the people are going to learn their lesson from what happened to Aad and Thamud and to other civilizations who were destroyed by the means of this dark star, I don't know. It's in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but all what I can say, I hope it. I mean, we all hope it. All the supporters and the followers, we are hoping that the people will wake up at last and smell the coffee, and face the reality of things. I mean, we can't continue the way that heading the same direction that we are heading in, because we are on the brink of disaster. It's just a matter of time. That's what it is. you know. So I hope that I
You know, I
have.
can say that, you know, we can just pray, and I pray, and I'm sure the brothers pray that, inshallah, you know, as Allah says, you know, Allah plans and He's the greatest of planners. So when this thunderous disaster comes, inshallah, you know, it comes in a way that, you know, it affects the people who are plotting, you know, these wars and these things, and it, you know, it stops them from doing whatever they're trying to do. And inshallah, the people around the world who are, you know, not doing any violence, and who are, you know, seeking the Quran as a judge, and, you know, praying to Allah every day, we pray that it strengthens them and it weakens the oppressors.
Ameen, ameen. Yeah. Yeah, you know, brother, you know, I'm sorry to say, it seems that if I look, for instance, on the political scene of what's happening, you know, it seems that the leaders are drunken by their thoughts. They're drunken by continuing programming to instigate wars against other nations, taking oppressing
they have
other
a lot
people.
of,
You know,
devilish influence, you know. They all seem very arrogant and very, you know, lost in their own, you know, narcissism.
exactly. And at the same time, on the other hand, we see the majority of people suffering droughts everywhere, you know, in Africa, even in Asia, they do have floodings, and many people lost their homes, and, you know, and nobody seems to care about the poor and the needy, except our beloved Awaited Mahdi, as I said. You know, when he comes into power, when I speak about power, I don't mean it the way that it is known to us today, to be president of or a king. No. That's not the way what it is. But that's another topic. Anyway, the promise is, we have been promised by our beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, that the awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani will bring a lot of justice and lift all the injustice that is committed by man towards his fellow human being, you know. So we are all full of hope. We'll keep praying, you know, that Allah will raise his banner, that he will give him victory, because you know, when you think about it, enough is enough, you know. And yeah.
So let me ask you, if we humans, you know, through our deeds and our actions are capable of calling, you know, sinister fate upon ourselves, you know, can the opposite be true? You know, can we as a global community, you know, avert, you know, the calamity and turn things around, you know? And if so, you know, do you know how we could, you know, do that, or how we as individuals can kind of try and do that?
Good question, brother. Good question, thank you. Jazakallahu khair. Well, actually, you know, as we've mentioned at the beginning of our discussion, it is said that this wrath is coming. It's because of the human behavior on the surface of the earth, because of the oppression. And even in the breaking news, there is a part where the Imam, peace and blessing be upon him, said, ماذا يفعل الله بعذابهم لولا دعاؤكم. If it is not for the prayer of the oppressed and those who have their rights taken away from them, do you think if nobody is defending them, that the divine creator who created them is pleased to see his people suffer? You know, when we hear today, for instance, Donald Trump is changing all the immigration policy and sending people back home, and even people who live there, they have nowhere else to go, you know. And he's not the only one, because this is now happening all over the place, even in Europe, you know. Even it's not as bad, let us say, as in the United States. But it seems that the oppression is even increasing, and injustice of man towards his fellow man is getting even worse. So what I mean by this, so are we the ones attracting this wrath which the awaited Mahdi is warning us about? For sure it is. That's the case. I mean, he explained it, as I said. And so this sinister fate that we are calling upon ourselves could be turned also back away. You know, it could be averted, even though I don't see that we do have a lot of time left, you know, because you ask me what is your evidence to say that this could be averted, and my evidence is, I remember, for instance, when the awaited Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him, wrote his first proclamation and sent them to world leaders in 2008, 2007, you know, in those years. He said to them, I'm warning you of the coming of this celestial body, which is a dark star, which will cause havoc and which will destroy the surface of the earth, and life will be never again the same as we know it. And they said, that said, let me tell you that if you are willing to repent, to stop all the wars, to stop all the famines, and to work on helping each other, nation helping other nations, and to refer your matters to the divine revelation, the way that the divine, the creator want us to behave, then I can promise you, these are the words of the promise of the awaited Imam Mahdi. He said, if you are willing to do that, I promise you that instead of the wrath, that you're gonna get manna and salwa. These are, I don't know if that's the correct name or not. Manna of salwa, that's what was sent down on the children of Israel on the Exodus. فَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهُمُ الْمَنَّ وَالسَّلْوَى. Manna and salwa, meaning this is something that grew up in the sand of the desert, so when they woke up in the morning they could eat from that. It was sweet, you know, and it came some like a dew in the night over it. It was like a honey. So it was a miracle that they could get something to eat, which was very nourishing. So that's the manna and salwa. It's mentioned in Surah, in the verse chapter, the cow. So actually, the awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed, Al-Yemani, peace and blessing be upon him, he was promising all the world leaders, if they gathered around and, you know, and make peace and help the needy and stop the oppression, he said, I promise to you that instead of getting the wrath of planet, the dark star, then you're going to get the opposite, you know. But they saw his call. It was sent by the followers and the supporters, and like nothing has happened. You know, we have an example, we say, as if you are pouring water in the sand of the desert. It will never hold water, you know. And this is really amazing, you know, the behavior of the religious leaders and the political leader. So there is hope maybe which will remain among the public, the general public. That's where the hope is lying, if the public actually are the ones who've got the say. And so we hope that the world population will wake up, that we are heading in the wrong direction, that it is time to wake up, to make a step back and, you know, to change whatever the behavior that we are, you know, heading towards.
Yeah.
So actually, yes, as I said, but as I said to you, his promise was made in 2007-8 at that time. By now we are in 2018, 12 years, 11 years later. So who knows, you know, depending on the time of the wrath, who knows how much time we've got left. But as we said it in the beginning of this discussion, we see that everything is speeding up, disasters are doubling all over the place, and then add to it this additional information, which is الريح الصرصر, the wind, the barren wind, and add to it الرجفة. الرجفة, when we try to look into it, what is it exactly? It is known to the modern world as EMP, but it seems this is not like any other EMP. It is a super, only the Creator knows how strong it is. And EMP, you know, the consequence of an EMP, the least of the consequence that all the electronic is going to be destroyed on Earth. All the, you know, but you have electricity, they do have nuclear central to produce electricity and all that. So all that is going to be affected. And add to that it will affect also the brains and the minds of the people. Many people will go crazy from an EMP. And I mean, I could go on and on, but there is a lot of information on the internet. So that's actually the Rajfa, which will be following the barren wind. And the barren wind itself, I mean, we're going to maybe later on see the description, what is the consequence or what is the effect of the barren winds whenever they blow on a land, because we do have a very detailed description of that. We're going to come to it later on. And so if I am allowed to express my own personal opinion about this, it seems that these two events, first the barren wind, الريح الصرصر, and followed by the Rajfa, which is the EMP, and many people, you know, they don't know how bad it is to be under this kind of EMP. But as I said, later on we're going to see the effect and the result of such an EMP on people who are a lot bigger than us, a lot stronger than us, who had more knowledge than us, more wealth than us, because we are talking about ancient civilization of about 20,000 years ago, okay? But again, that's another discussion in itself, by itself. So, yeah, that's to answer your question. I think, I hope I did not forget any part of it.
No, you answered it, you know.
Okay. So it is, as I said, it is possible, but due that we are too late about it. But I would say better late than never. Yes, there is a way, and there is a probability if humanity, as I said, will accept the divine order, will refer their matters to Allah and to His last revelation, then we can at least decrease the calamity that's heading our way. If not by 80%, we can maybe, you know, decrease it and have you know, a less calamity, less cataclysm. And don't
us amongst the Muslim populations, you know, the Ummah, those of us who maybe will see truth, because there's a lot of people who, you know, they just don't seem like they will stop what they're doing. You know, they have nothing they believe in. They don't believe in any sort of you know, God or morality. You know, so they just do what they want. You know, it just, you know, if we have to rely on people like that to help us, you know.
No, I'm not saying that, brother. I'm not saying we are relying on those people to help us. I'm saying people better help themselves, you know.
Okay, yeah.
That's the problem. Because look, we as a Muslim, I as a follower of the awaited Imam Mahdi, we have a more global vision, you know. So we want, if anything good happening on earth, that it will happen to all human beings on this earth. We are not thinking only about, so our Imam is not only thinking, let us say, locally about one single country or about one nation. He's speaking about humanity as a whole, and he wants all humans to be happy, all humans to live in peace all together, and it hurts him a lot to see that people are oppressed, to see that people, as I said, have their rights taken away from them. And so I experienced even that some people came to make some claims, you know, by him, and could you help us? He said, I would if I only had, if I was sworn alliance onto. But it seems, you know, now I'm not officially in the position that I'm supposed to be. So he's waiting, we are waiting, and that's all what we can do for the time being. Okay.
Okay, thank you for your answers, brother.
No problem, brother. I hope, you know, I know that I did not give you the perfect answer, because there are always many other sides of the discussion, many other points to be mentioned, but I'm trying to do my best. Thank you for being patient with me. Go ahead, brother.
So I mean, I guess, you know, I guess I could ask you, you know, the winds. You know, I remember once reading a statement about hurricanes or winds with fire. You know.
Okay.
You know, I think there was a hurricane or something that happened, and the Imam made a statement warning about, you know, a similar hurricane but worse, with, you know, that would be sent with fire in the sky and thunder. Is this, you know, does this have something to do with the wind that you were just talking about? And, you know, I guess to add to that question, you know, obviously the Imam has told us that Aad and Thamud, you know, are similar, and obviously in the Quran Allah tells us that a similar disaster could happen to people who don't use sense. Are there any other places in the Quran of things that have happened in the past that are going to happen again to us?
Well, exactly, that's actually the case. That is what Imam in the breaking news has been warning people all over the world, because his message, you know, if you allow me, I'm gonna stream it once again to give the opportunity for those who just joined the room to see it. And after that, you know, we're gonna stream more details about this barren wind, which is in the translation Ar-Rih As-Sarsar, and the Rajfa, because many even of us don't know and don't understand what does it mean, because we never experienced it. And it took me a lot of research in order to discover what could this Rajfa be. Okay, so let us stream first of all the breaking news again from the Awaited Mahdi, and we'll follow after that with more details about what happened to those people who happened to be in the way of the barren winds, and those who happen to have had this Rajfa happening to them. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Bismillah. أعزائي المشاهدين، هذا تذكير ببيان قديم. من محكم القرآن العظيم، وتحذير ونذير من المهدي المنتظر ناصر محمد إلى دونالد ترامب وإلى كافة البشر في الشرق والغرب. This is a reminder of a prior statement from the clear verses of the Great Qur'an, a final warning from the Awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed اليماني to Donald Trump and all mankind across the four corners of the earth. بتاريخ 20/9/1437 dated June 25, 2016. بيان ما أمر الله به النذير المهدي المنتظر ناصر محمد اليماني أن ينذر المعرضين بصاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود من قبل مرور كوكب العذاب الأكبر. This is an explanation what Awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani was ordered by Supreme Allah to warn those who refuse to accept Allah's orders, to be ready for a thunderbolt like the thunderbolt of Aad and Thamud before the crossing of the star of the great torment.
فإن أعرضوا فقل أنذرتكم صاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود.
But if they turn away, then say, I have warned you of a thunderbolt, like the thunderbolt that struck Aad and Thamud.
فذلك ما أخشاه عليكم من قبل مرور كوكب العذاب الأكبر، ولله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد يقدم ويؤخر سبحانه، وما يفعل الله بعذابهم لولا دعاؤكم. I am afraid that's what you have called upon yourselves. You will get it prior to the flyby of the dark star of wrath. Finally, it is Allah who decides. He speeds up and delays as He wishes. What would be the point of Allah punishing them if not for your prayers? ويا أسفي على قلوب أمة لم تعي عقولهم لهداهم بلغة القرآن العربي المبين الذي أرسله الله رحمة للعالمين. بل علم الله أن كبراء هذه الأمة وساداتهم وأتباعهم لن تعي قلوبهم الحق من ربهم إلا بلغة العذاب الأليم، تصديقا لقول الله تعالى:
أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم.
Please let me express my deepest sorrow over the state of hearts of a generation that won't allow their minds to be righteously guided by the logic and common sense of the obvious Holy Qur'an, revealed in Arabic language, revealed by the Supreme Allah as a mercy to mankind. He had already previous knowledge that the well-renowned of this generation, be it leaders or subordinates, have hearts incapable of grasping the truth of their Lord, except by means of severe punishment, This reality is confirmed by Allah's Most High saying,
I swear by the twilight glow, and by the night and what it envelops. When it becomes full, will surely embark upon state after state. So what is the matter with them that they do not believe? The Quran is recited to them, they do not prostrate to Allah. But those who have disbelieved deny. Allah is most knowing of what they keep within themselves. So give them tidings of painful punishment.
ونحذر كافة الأنصار في مختلف الأقطار تحذيرا كبيرا أن لا يفتنوا أنفسهم وأمتهم بتحديد ميعاد ما وعد به الله المعرضين عن دعوة الاحتكام إلى كتابه بميعاد عذابه في محكم القرآن العظيم، وذلك التزاما بأمر الله في قوله تعالى:
يقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين.
Therefore, we warn all the followers and supporters in different parts of the world by strong warning, in order not to confuse themselves and those around them, by indicating the date Allah promised to those who turn away from referring to His book, the Holy Quran, or the timeline of His wrath mentioned in the clear verses of the magnificent Quran, that obeying Allah's order when He Most High said,
And they say, when is this promise, if you should be truthful? Say, the knowledge is only with Allah, and I am only a clear warner.
صدق الله العظيم. وبالرغم أنه صار قريبا، ورغم ذلك فالإمام المهدي لا يزال ملتزما بالأمر بعدم تحديد مواعيد العذاب بتاريخ مرقوم بحسب أيامكم، برغم أني أخاف عليكم صاعقة مثل صاعقة عاد وثمود. فأنتم تعلمون ما هي صاعقة عاد وثمود، ذلكم عذاب الريح العقيم والرجفة. اللهم سلم سلم، وأنت الأعلم بما سوف يوعون به دعوة الحق من ربهم. اللهم قد بلغت الأنصار ليبلغوا، اللهم فاشهد كما جعلتهم معي شهداء على العالمين، وكفى بالله شهيدا. So, despite the fact it became close, I mean the wrath, Nevertheless, the awaited Mahdi is still keen on obeying the divine order, not to indicate a timeline or a calendar date on which the punishment should take place. Even though I am afraid you are going to face a thunderbolt like that of Aad and Thamud, I am sure you do know what the thunderbolt of Aad and Thamud is. It is the punishment caused by the barren wind, followed by an overpowering blast, kind of super powerful EMP, called in Arabic Al-Rajfa. Lord, O Lord, have mercy on us. Only you knows the appropriate way in order for them to accept your call of truth. I notified all my supporters to notify others. Lord, be witness the way you made them witness with me on mankind, and Allah is the most sufficient witness. Your brother, أخوكم الإمام المهدي ناصر محمد اليماني. Your brother.
وفي عاد إذ أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم.
And in Aad was a sign, when we sent against them the barren wind.
ما تذر من شيء أتت عليه إلا جعلته كالرميم.
It left nothing of what it came upon, but that it made it like disintegrated ruins.
وفي ثمود إذ قيل لهم تمتعوا حتى حين.
And in Thamud, when it was said to them, enjoy yourselves for a time.
فعتوا عن أمر ربهم فأخذتهم الصاعقة وهم ينظرون.
But they were insolent toward the command of their Lord, so the thunderbolt seized them while they were looking on.
فما استطاعوا من قيام وما كانوا منتصرين.
And they were unable to arise, nor could they defend themselves.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
الحاقة.
The inevitable reality.
ما الحاقة.
What is the inevitable reality?
وما أدراك ما الحاقة.
And what can make you know what is the inevitable reality?
كذبت ثمود وعاد بالقارعة.
Thamud
أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم.
And in Aad was a sign, when we sent against them the barren wind.
ما تذر من شيء أتت عليه إلا جعلته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أيها الأخوان، ومرحبا بكم جميعا. نحن
أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم.
And in Aad was a sign, when we sent against them the barren wind.
ما تذر من شيء أتت
Brother
عليه
Idris, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. I mean, I streamed also two other chapters from the Holy Quran where there has been a mention, you know, chapter 51 and chapter 69. These are the Dhariyat and Al-Haqqa, the inevitable. So there we had even ample and more details about what could this barren wind cause whenever it crosses the land. And you know, I even think, because there are more occurrences in the Holy Quran about this barren wind, it seems that it is also called the screaming wind, the winds of hell. And actually it makes a lot of sense, because since this dark star is hell itself that's gonna cross near earth, that's what our beloved Imam, peace and blessing be upon him, was warning of. Okay, now here is the kicker. You know, the point of this breaking news which our beloved Imam is trying to make, you know, the time when he came out and tried to propagate the news that there is something coming towards earth, that people better seek heed, prepare themselves for what's coming.
Yeah.
It took all these years, and today we see many people, you know, claiming that they have knowledge of this and that they became, like, let us say, experts in this. And to the point that some of the people, they listen to Awaited Imam Mahdi and they go back to their people and they try to claim that these things are coming from them, you know, in the West. And so the other day, you know, I was talking with the brother Jalal, and this reminded me, because he's with us now on the channel. He was mentioning to me Zeta Talk, the lady of, you know, at that time I did not remember her name. It was Nancy Leader, and I had quite a few chats with her, and I sent her letters and all that stuff. Letters mean containing the proclamation and statement of our beloved Imam, peace and blessing be. And she showed a lot of interest. But nevertheless, what I mean with this, I mean those, no, I cannot say anything bad about that lady. I did not see her taking the knowledge of Imam and claiming that it is hers. But those who are trying to do this, you know, are like Steve Quayle, Ali Marzuli, I know him, I communicated with him. The other guy who have got Yowza.com, what's his name again? Even though that night they came back to me and now I'm forgetting it again. What's his name? He's got a lot of videos about Planet X and the coming of Planet Nibiru. Marshall Masters, exactly.
Okay. Do you know Joe Broussard?
Joe Broussard, yes, I heard about him, yeah, and I saw some of his work. The only thing I can tell you about Gilles Broussard, these people, you know, are making claims by, they think, they presume, presumptions, okay?
And he responded to me, yeah?
Yeah.
a very long time ago, and I asked him what he thinks about Planet X and when it's coming, and he told me, when he thought it was gonna come. He said, he said it was gonna come early 2017. We were talking in 2016, and he said, go to Israel, go to Mount Sinai, because Jesus is gonna come. And so we were talking, and then I asked him what he thinks about the prophecies about Planet X in the Quran, and he never responded to me after that point when I asked him that question.
Well, brother, sorry to cut you short there. Actually, they are witnessing Planet Nibiru in some parts of the world today, and we have got a video taken by a mobile phone showing two suns in the sky.
Yeah.
We might stream that later once we finish this discussion, or a little bit before we finish. But to continue my point, if you allow me, the first point which I was making, those people, like I said, I gave you names. Alex Jones, I did not take contact with him because he was not. He was more interested in politics and all that stuff. But whenever he heard the news from Bob Fletcher, and you have another guy called David who wrote this book, that one is the more knowledgeable of all of them. I cannot remember his exact name, David somewhat. He had an interview.
Is it David Woodcock?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he believes a lot of weird stuff though, but he does have a lot of knowledge about different things. But I think it's some of it is false as well.
Yeah.
But carry on, brother.
So my point, to be short here, very quickly, so all these guys, they take the knowledge and they look on the website and they claim that it is theirs. But the kicker here it is. The kicker, Imam came now with something that nobody is talking about, okay? That means the calamity and the cataclysm is even going to happen a lot earlier than many people are expecting it to happen, okay? Because all these people who are in the world of Planet Nibiru and Planet X and waiting for Planet X, they think they still have got the time. Because they want to see Planet Nibiru in the skies, and that will give them about 7 weeks before they go take serious measures about it.
Yeah.
And now this declaration of our beloved Imam, this breaking news, means that this Rih al-Sarsar, the burn wind, and this EMP are probably to take place a lot prior to the coming of the calamity, of the crossing itself. So you see what I'm saying here. I'm saying that our Imam, peace and blessing be upon him, is the only one on the scene today warning about a super mega EMP that's going to happen with this burn wind. And the burn wind, we have seen, whenever it blows on a land, it destroys everything. It does not leave anything alive. Okay, so from there, the big importance of these last statements of our Imam, peace and blessing be upon him, and this will show the people that he is not the average person. Our beloved Imam is, like I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, has given him a very unique intuition, extraordinary intuition that allows him to fetch all the secrets from the holy revelation. So basically all what he's sharing with us, it is coming from the divine revelation of Allah, which is the last holy Qur'an. Thank you, brother. You can, it's your mic now. Take it.
So, as you know, we have heard this warning. How can we as Muslims, and I have more questions, but how can we as Muslims, take on this warning and benefit from it in the most way, for example, if this happens next week and there's a massive EMP, we won't have these computers, we won't be able to communicate with each other at all. you know. So we'll be, you know, we'll have Allah's word, we'll have the Quran, but you know, what can we do in this time now? And you know, when something like that occurs, you know, does the Imam have any advice for us on, you know, fending for ourselves, feeding our families, and you know, the things that we can do to kind of survive after a worldwide EMP?
Well, thank you for a very interesting question over there. You know, all what I can tell you, brother, for now, the orders of our beloved Imam is to continue spreading the news by each means that possible to us. And even when some of us asked him, you know, to move towards where he is geographically, he said, no, stay where you are, because you are more worthful doing what you are doing there, and just wait. It is not time to do anything, you know. You know,
but when the time comes to do anything, are there any like orders of what to do? Because, for example, if it happens, then how will we get in contact and find out what we're supposed to do?
You will get the contact, don't worry.
Okay.
Because the divine net, the other day we were talking about the intelligence of the human beings. You know, they do have satellites and they do have their means and their ways, but divine Allah have got stronger ways of communication than that of the human being. So my advice to you and to all the rest of my brothers and sisters is not to worry, because as long as you are on the path fulfilling the mission of propagating the da'wah of awaited Imam Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani, be sure that you will be protected by divine protection, inshallah. Okay? And my advice is not to worry about those things, and let things in the hands of the divine. He will show us the way and he will guide us, even though, you know, because again, you are bringing here a very big topic, brother. You are bringing a topic, tawakkul ala Allah. How can we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And so people in the West who have a very weak connection with the divine, they rely on the material things, you know, like you go on YouTube, you see that all the people are trying to take picture of Nibiru or where it is, you know, and following the satellites and all that. We the Muslim people, and what we've learned from our Imam, is to have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as long as we are following the path designed to us by Allah, then everything will be fine, you know, everything. Yeah. We are expecting, you know, only the good to happen, and our task, our responsibility is to bring this belief, you know, and this hope further to other parts of the world as we can, by spreading and propagating the great news and the knowledge of our beloved Imam. And I actually made one of the videos you know what I said, you know, brother?
What did you say?
One of my videos, in the title, I said, even if you survive the crossing, you know, for the disbelievers, for those who have no connection with the divine creator, I said, even if you prepared yourself as best as you could, and you stocked on food, on weapon, on water and everything, without this knowledge, I mean the knowledge of the awaited Imam Mahdi, then after the crossing you'd wish you did not survive.
Yeah.
Now, how come? You can ask me why. Why is that? Because these people, as I said, they cannot see beyond the future. They cannot see beyond the crossing. They have no idea what's coming beyond the crossing. Okay? So, if they now go into a shelter, imagine if they will go underground and they are lucky and they survive. One day or another they have to come out, okay? But when they come out of their hiding place, of their shelter, because they have to go search for food and for other needs that they have, they will find that everything has changed, okay? And we are going to get visitors. That's what our beloved Imam has been warning of. So, you know, instead of the people that they accept this message of awaited Mahdi, which will be their salvation, which will be their mean, you know, to fight and to survive in what's coming. No, people, they are denying it. And like you said before, it's not only the non-Muslim, but even the Muslim, the very Muslim themselves, are the first one opposing this message of the awaited Mahdi, which is supposed to save them, you know. And instead of concentrating on focusing their energy on accepting this knowledge about these other beings that are going to be present after the crossing to perform this great deception, you know. So all those people who have no knowledge, who are not focusing and not interested, who are turning away from the knowledge of the awaited Mahdi today, they'll be perplexed even if they survive. And they will wish they did not survive, because there will be a lot of torment. There will be a situation where people, they would have wished they did not survive the crossing, okay? So you see what I mean, brother. There is this spiritual level of all of this which people are not taking into consideration. Do you hear me? It's the
most important part, right?
Do you hear me, brother Idris? Because there was a little bit of noise there.
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay, yeah, now it's perfect, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I understand that, you know, the most important part is, you know, the spiritual information and, you know, sincere connection with Allah, you know, and this information is a blessing. But, you know, as Muslims, we believe that, you know, the Quran is the eternal word of, you know, the sovereign Lord of, you know, creation, the creator.
Right.
And, you know, there are details about ancient civilizations in the Quran, you know, and there are solutions to what are taking, you know, part nowadays as well as in other times that we are facing, you know, and also news of what's to come in the future, you know. So, you know, I hear what you're saying. You know, you're saying that the Holy Quran is a book. It's the Holy Quran. It's still authentic.
Yes.
It's never been altered or changed. But right. I just wanted to, because someone asked me as well on my channel, I just wanted to ask you, you know, could you prove to us, you know, what is the secret of preserving the miracle, and also what is the proof of, you know, the Mahdi being, you know, authentic?
Very good question, brother. Thank you for asking that. Well, actually your question has got 2 parts or even 3 parts in it. So I'm gonna try to answer the first part, which is the most important, which is the holy book of Quran, okay, which is supposed to be the last divine revelation that Allah, the Creator, has sent down on our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. Yes, we do also believe that this book remained intact during the 14th centuries. You know, that it no one has been able to change it or to alter it in any way or fashion. And now the question, why is that? Our beloved awaited Mahdi has shown us the secret of Allah preserving his revelation pure the same day as it came down. Today, after 14 centuries, as I said, it's exactly the same as it was in the time of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. And so the secret which awaited Imam Mahdi explained to us is the fact, in the beginning, when the revelation was coming down on the messenger of God, on the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, people tried to write it down. And so immediately came the order to forbid the people to write the verses of the Holy Quran on paper or on sheets. And so many people thought it is, to avoid confusing the words of the Prophet with those of the Divine Creator, in order not to mix the words of Allah together with the words of the Prophet. Yeah, well, that's partly correct, but that's not the real reason for it. Actually, the real reason you're going to understand now is the following. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He saw that previous scriptures, holy scriptures, like the Bible, like the Evangel, like the Torah, like the Gospel, there has been a human hand which has altered them. Why is that? Because the people of all those religions I've mentioned, they rely on the books, on the sheets where they wrote their scripture on. They rely on that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to create a new method. He gave the order to His last messenger that the Holy Quran must be memorized without having the need to look into the books. And since the beginning of Islam, there has been a big effort of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, and on the companions, to memorize the Quran by heart, to the point that non-Muslim nations, they used to call the Muslim people who carry their Bibles in their hearts. That means this tradition of creating a minimum of Quran reciters, we call them, of memorizer. People, their job is to memorize the Holy Quran. So what happened? What happened through all the centuries, wherever you go in any Muslim community, you will find always a number of people whom job is to memorize the Holy Quran, and the final test, they have to sit in front of someone who's got also the Holy Quran by memory, and he will listen to them and he will approve of them. At the end he said, yes, you have memorized the Holy Quran. And so that way the enemies of the truth, whom we call the children of the devil, the Illuminati, who infiltrated themselves by the Christian, and they altered their book, which is the Bible, and they did not have a way to alter the Holy Quran during all these 1400 years. Okay? Because in order to change and to alter the text of the Holy Quran, you have to go inside the hearts of each Muslim on this planet and kill all these Muslims who are memorizing the Holy Quran. So you see what I mean? Because we don't rely on the book. The book, the holy book, the Quran, is there, to remind us. And I could even give you an example. For instance, in 1977, 78, there has been an invasion, Israeli invasion to Lebanon. And Lebanon is one of the lands that have got print, how we call that, printer, where they print the books, where they make, publishing company, they publish the Holy Quran. We do have one in Cairo, in Egypt, and one in Lebanon, in Beirut. So first thing what they did, the Israeli, the Jewish, they tried to alter the Holy Quran, and they changed one verse of the Holy Quran and they put it back in the hands of the Muslim. And so when the little children, they were learning the Holy Quran and they started reading, so the sheikh, the teacher who was listening, immediately he knew that there is something wrong, and he said, no, that's not the correct verse. The correct verse is so and so. So they had to check all those books, and they took all these last published books and they had to burn them because they knew they were altered. So you see now the difference, and this tradition of creating Holy Quran memorizer of the revelation does not exist by the Christian. It does not exist by the Jewish people, because if you looked at the Jewish people praying by in Jerusalem by the wall, they have always a book in their hands. You see, while the Muslim people, they memorize the whole Quran, Alhamdulillah, by heart. Okay, so I don't say all the Muslims are doing it, but it's always in each community you have a minimum, you know, depending on how big the community is, a minimum of people whom their mission is to memorize the Holy Quran. And so the last thing which I would like to add to you is the fact today, if you went, for instance, you pick up a person from Senegal, and you picked up a person from Egypt, and another person from Algeria, Morocco, another one from Mauritania, and then you went to Saudi Arabia, you pick up a person, you know, you pick up a person from each Muslim land, and you gather them all around and tell them to read the Holy Quran. Then basically they will read the same Quran with a difference of articulation, you know, because we do have different riwayah. We have riwayat warsh, and that means that the pronunciation will depend depending on the accent, the dialect of the people. But the main thing, which is the content of the verses, is the same. And this is the miracle about the Holy Quran. And that's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept the Holy Quran intact. So all those people will read to you the Holy Quran that was read at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And even though at the time of the Prophet, when two of the companions of the Prophet, they had two different readings because of their pronunciation, the accent was different, and they had a kind of disagreement, and they said, let us go to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, oh, the other companion is reading wrong. He said, sit down, read for me. So he allowed the first companion to read, and then he said, thank you. He asked the other one to read, and they read with different pronunciation. And so the Messenger of Allah said, both of you are right, you know. So this proves that the pronunciation, when it does not change the words, it does not alter the words, that there is no harm in it. So because the meaning of the verse will remain the same, and that's what we are dealing with. So that's the first point. I hope I answered it well there for you, brother, and for the rest of the brothers and sisters.
Yes, very detailed and a good answer. Thank you.
Okay. And the second thing, we all know that our beloved Imam, Awaited Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him, with his extraordinary intuition, which is not an average person intuition, is deducing and getting, how would you say the word, he gets, let us say, all his information from the Holy Book. So we know that the Holy Book, the Quran, is unaltered and changed, and we know that the personality of the awaited Imam Mahdi is not the average Muslim, that he has got this very strong intuition in order to fetch for secrets and to connect between the dots, between the different verses of the Holy Quran, and to bring the answer on a golden platter to the truth seekers. And that is what is happening today. I mean, this breaking news that the Imam is trying to share with the rest of the world and emphasizing on us to widespread this information, warning the people of this barren wind, of this screaming wind that's going to come, and wherever it's going to blow on, which land, you know, anything that's coming in each way will be turned into death. You know, nothing will survive it. And add to that, of course, as I said, the EMP, which is the Rajfa. Many people don't know what it is, but believe me, now they're trying to make a weapon out of it, you know. It seems that the American have this weapon, and the Russian, and then the Chinese. And usually an EMP is by doing a nuclear explosion above the atmosphere of the Earth, which will send this wave of EMP, electromagnetic pulse, in order to to stop any communication, any electronic and everything. This is a human fabrication. You cannot compare it, of course, to divine power, which we are talking here about.
Yeah.
So I hope I answered you there, brother, on the two parts of the question. Thank you, and the mic is yours. Go ahead.
You know, I think it's thank you for your answer, first of all.
No problem.
I think it's
maybe
comforting to know these things, you know.
Yeah, maybe
because,
it is time that we streamed that video for the brothers and sisters to show them that they are watching two suns, you know, in the sky. And
oh, do you have that video ready?
Yeah, I think it's ready. It's here. Yeah. Just give me a second, brother. Okay, I'm gonna stream it to the brothers and sisters so that they can media source. So where is it? Planet two suns visible in the sky. There it is. Can you see it, brother?
Okay, this is Fiji. I'm in Fiji right now, and that's the sunset. You see that? That's the sunset. Now, can you tell me why there's light over there? Is that a sun?
Okay, yeah, it just started.
Yeah,
you're telling me that we are having a reflection or some crap? No, man. That's the sun, and that's the sun. That's the sunset. Look at that. That's our original sun. Hey, man, look at this. Are you aware that we are in end times? Thumbs up. Look, we got two suns. That's the sun, and that's the sun. We got two, man. People just don't believe, man. Y'all are gonna see Jesus quick. Look at, there's a sun right there, and then there's a sun over here. This is crazy. This is crazy. What the heck is going on?
So that was it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, and I've actually seen, you know, many other videos of a similar thing where there's two suns in the sky in two different, you know, opposite ends of the sky.
Yeah, that's the case now. What we have seen, it was taken by a mobile phone, and it was showing that she's seeing two suns, you know, on the horizon, and and a lot of chemtrails, of course, because they're spreading chemtrails in order to hide this reality from the people. And that's another discussion, because why are they trying to cover up the existence of this celestial body? And I heard many people, trying to answer that, but their answer does not hold water at all. Comparing with what the Awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed اليماني, peace and blessing be upon him, has explained to us. Now we know the answer, and it's a pity, really pity, that those people, and I speak the global community in general, are not listening to our beloved Imam, because they will benefit tremendously of his knowledge if they will listen and read his statements. It's in their favor. No one is asking them anything. We are doing this for free. We are volunteers. All the Ansar and the supporters are working in the way of the divine creator. We are not asking for money, and all the information, the knowledge of Imam Mahdi is presented free, without any charge, without any strings bound to it. We keep saying that all the time. So thank you very much, and it's your turn, brother. Take it from me.
Yeah, I mean, that video is very interesting. I heard once that there was a guy that has a channel called the Impossible Channel, and he released a video where he said that he got an email from someone who claims to work, over in the US Navy or intelligence or something, and he said that basically that they know about Planet X, and they're very happy that people think it is a planet, but from their understanding they don't think it is a planet, that they believe that it is alive and that it's conscious, and that it flies, in an intelligent way. They said it's moving, it's not orbiting like normal planet, it's moving in a way that they think it's intelligent. And for some reason, I don't know, they say it appears near the Earth, then it goes away, then it, so I was just wondering if you've heard that before.
Yes, I heard that, brother. I heard that, and that does not contradict what our beloved Awaited Mahdi was saying all the way. He said that this planet Saqar, actually, who created it? It's Allah who created it. And so its movement and its orbit is all ordered according to the pattern that the divine creator has designed for it. And we all know, our beloved Imam said that this is Jahannam, mentioned in the Holy Quran. It is hellfire itself. And the Quran speaks about hellfire having 19 angels guiding it. 19 angels, big angel. There is a verse, a special verse, I cannot. عليها 19, 19, the number. وما جعلنا عدتهم إلا فتنة. Allah speaks that He mentions it because He revealed this to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there is a kind of temptation in that for the disbeliever, those who were 50-50 in their belief. So they went away from Islam, when they heard this verse. So what you are saying, that it does not contradict at all, it makes a lot of sense. And it seems that these big angels are carrying it, hellfire, in a way that beyond our imagination, because the human beings, we are limited in our imagination, we are limited in our strength, we are limited in many things. Yeah. Okay, brother, I hope that yeah.
And I know one of the points that, obviously with all this going on and things like this, the main thing for us is to have peace with each other, for all this to be going on, all these, amazing things that are, celestial and, spiritual,
right.
But
right.
Still humans are, having violence with each other. Really, we should be, trying to achieve global peace with each other to try and fix these things, you know, or prepare.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But we just don't seem to be able to. You know, I think, you know, I think I said in the other stream that, you know, the thing that happened with, you know, Iblis and how Allah says that he is a great enemy. You know, I think he has a lot to do with it, and the shaitan, you know, because, you know, every time there's guidance, you know, he finds a way to lead people astray, you know. And I think, you know, I have, you know, great intuition about the verse where Allah says, you know, the people did not become, you know, divided until the truth came to them, you know.
Right.
And, you know, there's so much weight to that statement, you know. There's so much meaning behind it, because such little things like pride and arrogance, or little, you know, emotions that shaitan can whisper to you and you know, rise in you, that can have great consequences over thousands of years, you know.
Yes, Allah gave him that power, of course. You know, because the shaitan, Iblis, alayhi la'na, he did not create himself. It is Allah who created him and gave him the knowledge, and it's Allah who made him go in the direction, you know, though it was by his own deeds and his mistake that he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the eve of the creation of the human beings, you know, he disobeyed the laws. But still, the divine creator had previous knowledge of the mission of Iblis would be, you know, what would be his mission. And so, yeah. But anyway, Allah also mentions in the Holy Quran, إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا, meaning the plotting of the shaitan is very weak indeed. You know, we don't have to be afraid of him. Not at all. Of course, we take care in order not to be misled, not to fall into his temptation, and especially this big deception that's coming ahead. I never heard anyone explaining what would be this temptation, this great deception, except the awaited Imam Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him. I mean, he revealed all the secrets to the point, you know what he said, Brother Idris, our beloved Imam?
What did he say?
He said, look guys, Shaitan, Iblis alayhi la'na, worked all these centuries. Only God knows, maybe 2,000-3,000 years making this plan, you know, working on it effortless, you know, without stopping. And that's what many people who are studying the New World Order, and they were wondering, all the people, you know, who are researching this, they say, how could the human being plan such a meticulous plan, which is the plan of the New World Order, during all those centuries without disruption? So there is for sure a mastermind behind all this who is not a human at all, you know. So, but further, they could not go beyond that point. They said there is something strange about it. So what
they got scared and they stopped.
Yeah. So what our beloved Imam, peace and blessing be upon him, said, look, one of my mission, you know, part of my mission is to expose the agenda of Satan, of Iblis alayhi la'na, and to give you all his secrets. Okay? And so if anyone is interested in knowing and you know, discovering the secrets about this New World Order and all that, alhamdulillah, all the Ansar and the brothers and sisters, they know that, and that's what they are grateful for, because they feel alive, they feel free, they feel different to before that they came to know our beloved Imam. You know, it changed their life. All the knowledge that they gained from our beloved Imam alayhi salam, peace and blessing be upon him. So, and again, as last, what I would like to add, many people around the world, Muslim or non-Muslim, are not really giving the right value and consideration and appreciation about this man called Awaited Mahdi Nasser Mohammed al-Yemani. And I find again it's a pity that the people, they are really missing a lot. They are missing tremendously by ignoring the knowledge of our beloved Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him. So my advice, I invite all the people from across the world. Doesn't matter, because on the website of our beloved Imam, we do have different languages in the international section. And so the English speaking, the French speaking, the German, the Spanish, the Italian, they all do have their share of the knowledge. It's already translated. And we hope that they will be part of this effort in order to propagate this knowledge by informing their loved ones and their surroundings with this knowledge. And again, nobody is going to come to them. Take the knowledge, use it for your own benefit, because this will, this knowledge means the difference between death and life, especially seeing what's coming. And I mean, we streamed now a video. So this Planet Nibiru is not halabaloo, it's not a hoax, it's not imagination. People have taken picture of a real image of that there is something in our skies never seen before. So thank you, brother, and I hope I have answered most of your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's maybe we put a musical break till later on we see where which direction we're gonna head, whether to end this interview for tonight, or maybe open the lines for the brothers and sisters who would like to ask question. They are welcome to do it, so let's hear this, take this musical break, and I'll come back to you. Jazakumullahu khair.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Wa antum kadhalik. Thank you. Well, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa marhaban bikum jami'an. We are back. We hope that you enjoyed the discussion tonight. Even though, you know, it did not go the way that we have planned it in the beginning. But alhamdulillah, when our brother Idris joined us on the channel and we started talking, I hope that people have gained more information and more knowledge from this discussion. What do you think, brother Idris? Brother Idris, are you still with me? Idris. And I think Idris left his post. He went somewhere. Maybe he needed to do something what all humans do. So we'll be waiting till he's back. المهم سادتي الكرام، إخواني أخواتي، جزاكم الله خيرا على الصبر وعلى الاستماع. كما قلنا يعني هو معلوم أن بالنسبة لحصص البث الحي قلنا كم مرة أن يوم الاثنين والجمعة مخصصتان للبث باللغة العربية، وكون يوم الأربعاء والسبت مخصصتان للغات أخرى، يا إما إنجليزي أو فرنسي أو سنرة حسب الأيام وحسب الطلبات وحسب توفر الإخوان الذين سيقومون ذاتهم بهذا البث. فبالنسبة لموضوع الليلة، بما أن الخبر الطارئ والذي ورد علينا من الإمام عليه السلام كي ننبه الناس بهذا الريح الصرصر والرجفة، نسأل الله السلامة والحفظ والأمان لنا ولكم ولجميع أخواننا الأنصار والمسلمين والمسلمات في جميع البلاد. فبما أن الخطاب كان موجها عالميا إلى رؤساء الدول والحكومات، فحبذنا أن يكون البث عالميا باللغة العالمية الإنجليزية كي يفهمه غير المسلمين. فلذلك عدم المؤاخذة كما قلت، لأني في كل مرة ألاحظ أن بعض الإخوان يريدون يعني أن نغير البرنامج كي يكون البث بلغة معينة. فهاك قد تقريبا انتهينا من الحوار مع أخونا إدريس الذي لا يحسن اللغة العربية، وهو كما تعلمون والحمد لله من أنصار الإمام عليه السلام. والآن إذا ختمنا معه الحوار فإن شاء الله سنفتح الخط، وإذا أردتم أن تكون الحوارات باللغة العربية أو الإخوان الحاضرين لهم بعض الإضافات أو الأسئلة غير المطولة، فمرحبا بكم إن شاء الله. طيب، نحاول أن نعيد الاتصال بأخونا إدريس لكي نرى أين ذهب. إدريس، are you back؟ طيب، أنا سأقطع عنه الخط وأفتح الخطوط لبقية الإخوان، فمن أراد منكم الاتصال فليتفضل مشكورين إخواني الكرام. ومعذرة كما قلت لكم لأن الأمر يعني الإنسان لابد أن يتبع برنامج معين لحد كي لا تصير لخبطة أو تضارب في الأمر. فالحمد لله إن شاء الله وصلت المنفعة، وأنتم كذلك أختي راجية رضوان الله، جزاك الله عنا كل خير. سلام حمد أحمد, welcome to the channel, good to see you. So I'm going to break the contact with brother Idris since he's not answering the call. He left his post, and I'm going to open the line. Inshallah, anyone else, as I said, who had a comment or anything to add on tonight's stream is welcome to come up to the mic. You have the number there on the screen. You can call that Skype number there using your mobile or laptop or even your phone, you know. Anyway, we see. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أعزائي المشاهدين، هذا تذكير ببيان قديم من محكم القرآن العظيم، وتحذير ونذير من المهدي المنتظر ناصر محمد إلى دونالد ترامب وإلى كافة البشر في الشرق والغرب. This is أمة لم تعي عقولهم لهداهم بلغة القرآن العربي المبين الذي أرسله الله رحمة للعالمين، بل علم الله أن كبراء هذه الأمة وساداتهم وأتباعهم لن تعي قلوبهم الحق من ربهم إلا بلغة العذاب الأليم، تصديقا لقول الله تعالى.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Sorry, I went to get some bread.
Right. Welcome back.
How's the stream going?
Breaking news itself. Please let me express my deepest sorrow over the state of hearts of a generation that won't allow their minds to be righteously guided by the logic and common sense of the obvious Holy Qur'an, revealed in Arabic language, revealed by the Supreme Allah as mercy to mankind.
Did you pause it, brother?
He had already previous knowledge that the world renown of this generation, be it leaders or subordinates, have hearts incapable of grasping the truth of their Lord, except by means of severe punishment. This reality is confirmed We continue if you...
Okay, well, if anyone wants to call, I guess if I get any calls, I'll start the stream again and talk to...
Okay, assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Can you please hear me now? Give us a one if you can hear us. I don't know what happened. I was trying to stream the breaking news once again because we had a brother who wanted to know what was it about. So give us a one if you can hear us, please. Anyway, brother, I hope that I have answered some of your questions tonight.
Yeah, you have. Thank you for your time. What would you like to, what should we talk about next time on the...
Well, thank you for joining us, for having the kindness to be with your brothers and sisters for tonight. Well, I'm thinking, inshallah, because I'm working on a very important topic from the knowledge of Imam, awaited Imam Mahdi, peace and blessing be upon him. And I hope by next live stream, which will be on a Saturday, we'll have this topic that I'm working on. I titled it, hang on a second, I'm going to give you the title of it.
Okay.
So the title, Portents and Times will be delivered to the human world. That means, speaking about the Ark of the Covenant and its content, and because the previous video to that I spoke about the companions of the cave, the way that Imam has explained it. And so this time we're going to reveal even more secrets from the knowledge of awaited Mahdi about the birth, the life of the Messiah, the real Messiah, about his disappearance from among the human, how it happened, So inshallah I'll be able to have finished that work by Saturday so that we can have it as a topic and go further with discussion.
Okay, inshallah, that sounds good. Sounds good. I'll read up on that as well. And
okay.
Inshallah, get ready for the stream on Saturday. But yeah, thank you. You answered a lot of good questions today.
Alhamdulillah.
Beneficial for the people listening,
Well, thank you, and I'm glad to see Brother Samir joining us back. We have missed you now 2 days, Brother Samir. And I hope by next week you'll be doing your own stream, Samir, for the first time. Did you hear me? And other ways I will bring up Samir on Paul Talk and have a little chat with him and have him do the closing for tonight. And I'll see you next time, brother, then.
Okay, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much, brothers. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam. So, Alhamdulillah, dear brother and sister, that was our brother Idris, inshallah. And he asked some of the questions, and we tried to answer those, And for now, I'm waiting that someone else would call me, and we can switch to Arabic language, because as I said, this live streaming have such an importance about this breaking news that our beloved Imam wanted to attract our attention to. So if anyone would like to go further on with the discussion for a short while, feel free please to call on Skype. You have the number there, and feel free to add any comment in in any language, inshallah, brother. Anyway, Brother Samir, why won't you come up, please, and share some of your thoughts with the brothers and sisters on what you saw about the breaking news. and the relevance of it, because as I was mentioning, nobody was expecting that we're going to get something so big before the event of the crossing itself. لذلك إخواني الكرام أخواتي أشكركم على حسن المتابعة والصبر، وكما قلت لكم أن هذا الخبر العاجل الذي أضافه لنا إمامنا عليه السلام يكتسي صبغة هامة جدا، كون كل المعلومات الموجودة حاليا على الإنترنت والتي يتداولها الناس فهم بانتظار مقدم الكوكب وعبوره. نتكلم عن العبور لأن كثير من الأخوان ربما لا يعلمون هذا، لكن الإمام قد وضحه عليه السلام، لأنه هو الكوكب في الأرضونة السفلى السابعة بالأسفل، ومروره يعني أنه يمر في الخط التي تدور الأرض حول الشمس، اسمه بالإنجليزي ecliptic plane. يعني هذا الكوكب يمر من الأسفل ثم يتخذ موقع أعلى فوق الأرض فيمطر عليها الحجارة. فإذا المعلومات المتداولة بين الناس كلهم ينتظرون هذا الموعد، موعد عبور هذا الكوكب الذي هو كوكب صقر كما بينه إمام، نسأل الله الحفظ والسلامة لنا ولجميع أخواننا وللمسلمين. ولكن الآن ما أضافه الإمام عليه السلام كون أن التعنت الذي يبديه البشر في أنحاء العالم وهؤلاء السياسيين والقياديين خاصة، هذا التعنت مما سينجر عنه غضب الإله سبحانه عز وجل، كون الناس معرضين عن تحكيم كتاب الله وعن تحكيم خليفة الله آخر خلفاء الله الذي هو رحمة للعالمين ويستطيع أن يستنبط لهم الأحكام من كتاب الله، وهم يسدون الأبواب في وجهه. فلذلك الجديد في الأمر كون هنالك شيء لم يكن ينتظره الكل، وهو هذا الريح الصرصر والعياذ بالله، نسأل الله السلامة. وهذه الرجفة كما حاولنا أن نشرحها للإخوان، لأن نحن نشاهد الآيات تتكلم في القرآن وإمامنا عليه السلام يشرحها، ولكن ليس فينا أحد قد عايش ظرفا كانت فيه رجفة من قبل وإلا لما بقى حيا طبعا. نسأل الله سبحانه السلامة وحسن العاقبة لنا ولكم. فلذلك أنا كل يعني ما بحثت بالمقارنة بين الآيات، كون هذه الرجفة نسأل الله السلامة هي ما يعبرون عنه بإلكترومagnetic pulse، يعني هذه النبضة المغناطيسية القوية جدا التي لها تأثير على الكائنات الحية على وجه الأرض، وكذلك على التجهيزات الحديثة الإلكترونية، ولها تأثيرات أخرى طبعا. فهذا إن شاء الله رأي يعني مركز على علوم إمامنا عليه السلام وما تفضل به علينا بهذا الخبر العاجل، كي ننبه الناس أن الخطر يعني لم يمر، وأن هنالك أكثر مما ربما ينتظره الآخرون. لذا أخواني الكرام جزيتم خيرا، بارك الله فيكم، وأنا لسه لازلت بانتظار الاتصال من لهم اهتمام ويريدون أن يضيفون بعض الشيء أو بعض الأسئلة. آمين يا رب العالمين، آمين. طيب إذا لم يكن فيه اهتمام بالاتصال فإني إن شاء الله سنكتفي بهذا القدر بالنسبة لهذه الليلة. أشكركم جميعا على المرور وعلى الحضور وعلى المتابعة وعلى هذا الحماس الذي أبديتموه. وأعتذر أنا في البداية يا أخوان أن حصل ما حصل، لأن في بعض الأخوان يأتون ولا يذهبون إلى صفحة القناة كي يشاهدون ماذا يحدث، فلو فعلوا ذلك لكانوا شاهدوا أني أنا بصدد عرض الخبر العاجل، ويعني لنا برنامج أن سنتكلم، لنا ضيف، لأني كنت قد علمت أنه سيكون معنا ضيف أخونا إدريس من بريطانيا. ولما نقول أن هنالك ضيف يعني أن المحادثة والحوار أقل شيء ستأخذ ساعة أو ساعة ونصف، فلذلك يعني الاتصالات من المعقول أن تكون بعد الحوار مع الأخ مع الضيف، ثم تفتح الخطوط كي يتصل الإخوان لإضافة تعليقات وأسئلة وهكذا. طيب، وأن يعتذروا من جميع الإخوان إن كان يعني منا تقصير، وإن شاء الله السميع العليم سيكون لنا أكثر وقت كي نتفرغ للرد على رسائل الأخوة كلهم، وكذلك مهمة اعتذر لعدم القدرة. لا، أنت معذور أخي، لا حرج عليك ولا تثريب أخي سمير. المهم إن شاء الله سيكون لي بك لقاء في القريب العاجل أخي عبد الله سمير، لأن نريد أن تتمكن أنت من عملية البث من عندك كي تقوم إن شاء الله بتصميم برامج. وأتمنى على الله أنك اتبعت التعليمات التي كنا قد أرسلناها لك عبر منتديات البشرى، منتديات إمامنا، وأنك قد شغلت البرنامج كي يعني تتعود عليه نوعا ما. وطبعا إذا يعني أنت الذي ستقوم بهذا البث وكذا، لابد أن يكون برنامج سكايب عندك شغال كي تخول لبقية الإخوان الأنصار أن يتصلون بك لكي تقوم معهم بالحوارات والأسئلة والأجوبة. طيب، جزاكم الله خير إخواني الكرام، بارك الله فيكم وعليكم. وختاما لهذا اللقاء نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يعجل بالنصر والظهور والتمكين لإمامنا، وأن يهدي الأمة الإسلامية علماءها وقادتها كي يولون اعتبارا ويفهمون قيمة شخصية الإمام المهدي عليه السلام. ويعني لقد أضفنا ما فتح الله به علينا من أفكار ومن آراء بالنسبة لهذه الليلة. فإن شاء الله بالنسبة لهذا اللقاء أستودعكم الله الذي لا تضل ودائعه، وشكرا لكم على حسن المتابعة. حفظكم الله جميعا. أخوكم حسين ابن عمر الذي يحبكم في جلال الله، ونسأل الله